I love interviews, as you can tell. And to me, it's like, you know, who wants to hear me talk about like Microsoft? Because like you can do that, you can go read a blog. Who cares, right? It's really about ideas. And for us, we're excited to be here to share ideas. And hopefully some of these ideas we're going to work on, we can work on together, or you can work on yourself. But to all of us, design is about helping us solve problems, and it's more important now, more than ever, where design's job is to help humanize technology, because technology is so fast. It's advancing at such a rapid pace. And at the end of the day, for us, we work on products like phones, which is exciting, and you work on products like web or digital, but it's really not just about making more products. To us, it's really about solving problems for people. And today's talks from other folks you'll hear today, there's some really exciting themes that's happening in interaction. And the passion that always drives us, Corrina and I, it's not about making, like I said, more products. It's about connecting. How do we connect with each other? How do we connect with things around us? I think that's the key essence of why interaction design is such a key part of how we can help make technology real and make it worthwhile for all of us. So connection is a key part of it. And if you look back, it's always been there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely essential. Early in human history, our survival required protection of our family, and connecting with the people that we care about was absolutely essential. In order to find food, you're taking a picture of me. In order to find food, shelter, water, in order to make sure that you could avoid danger effectively, find love, connecting was and is today absolutely essential to our well-being and even our survival. And connecting comes in various forms, as we all know. Storytelling is a great form that's been prevalent throughout time for instant information sharing. Pictures and writing have longevity and length to the information that's being shared. With the growth of technology, it became possible to connect over long distances instantly with tools such as the telephone, as we're seeing here with Alexander Graham Bell. Mass media, the television, made it possible to get access to that media. I don't know if you guys watch the Kardashians here. I don't. You know, the stuff that you really care about, like instantaneously. Computers and the internet made it possible to collect all of this data that we have going on in our lives, all of this stuff that we care about people, places, things, the media, entertainment, and collect it into these massive data sets. More importantly, it's becoming, and it is possible to access that data, this important information that we really care about at any time and anywhere. The mobile revolution 5 years ago really made this, come to be. And it's amazing how fast technology is changing. It's really exciting. Communication is, again, continuing to evolve and grow. You can share information with people. It's amazing across the world, instantaneously or at light speed. I like that word. But the possibilities with respect to connecting to those people, places, and things that you care about, it's really not tapped out. There's a lot more that we can do. There are a lot of really interesting problems to solve as interaction designers, so it's a really great time for us.
Yeah, if you look at this actually, most people probably don't notice. This is actually a map of Twitter, a snapshot of tweets going on. And you think about it, like 2006, I think?
Yeah.
2007, Twitter didn't exist. And now it's a new form of communication. And that's what's so exciting about being in our field, where things can just emerge and instantly kind of change the way we interact. And how do we make sure that those interactions, those connections are meaningful, are real, and are useful. And instead of just saying, hey, let's go create more, we actually step back last year and say, hey, wait a minute. We should actually think about what are these interactions, how are people connecting, and ask some designers what they think are important. And we had a chance to actually, just like in some of these workshops here today, talk to some designers, actually most of them are my friends, and say, hey, what are you guys working on? And it was really amazing to listen and hear what they had to say about connecting and interaction. We talked to like Robert, he had some great thoughts about how systems are coming together to Massimo was working on Arduino was really cool in terms of how embedded devices can be smarter. I think those are really interesting areas. And I can't show you the whole film. We actually made a little film. Hopefully we can post it online later and you guys could check it out. So I'm going to show you a little clip of that. I'll give you a snapshot. And then we'll talk more about some of those ideas. Cool? Ooh, sorry, back.
Oh, maybe we do need some help.
There we go. Magic hand.
Interaction design is at a pretty interesting inflection point right now. A lot of the models and a lot of the ideas and a lot of the principles are in place. And a lot of the hard work today is figuring out how to drive them to more and more meaningful parts of our lives.
The technology that I work on and the stuff that I do is about to permeate, I think, a whole different field that is not tech per se.
This whole idea that we would all actually be connected, like it's actually happening.
One of the things that I think emerges as a byproduct of all of this intensive connectivity, we're part of something bigger. And I think many of us are not aware of the extent to which we're a part of something bigger and not entirely just our own selves anymore.
Yeah, like I said, that's just a snapshot, and it was great to see some of those emerging themes of interaction, how people connect, and as you'll hear today, and some of the talks today, it's an exciting time where it's not just about making a phone call or sending a text. The things that's around us, how do we connect to them? The Internet of Things, and Internet of People. How do we make that real and meaningful to the environments that we're in? To making sure that, we're interacting with devices and technology. How do you make that more natural? Touch is great, but is there more? I think there's some really cool ideas that folks will talk about later today, but also, how do we actually explore those ideas and make it meaningful? So what we're going to do is actually talk about some of the ideas that we're shaping, we're thinking about, and hopefully you get inspired and actually take some of these ideas and move it forward. And for me, the one that really I feel excited about is this idea of the Internet of Things where, the world is full of switches, the things that we turn on and off every day. It's actually, you think about it, we always talk about phones. Reality, we interact with many different objects, not just phones. And how do we actually make those mundane tasks every day that we wake up in the morning, we gotta turn off the alarm clock, we gotta go to the bathroom, turn on the lights. Those are the things that you think about, like, wait a minute, we do more of that than we actually interact with human beings. So interacting with objects, I think that's a really big potential. And how do you take that forward, make it connected, make it smarter, whereby it's not just about one screen, it's not just about turning off the radio or turning on washer and dryer. Can it be adapt to your needs? Can you actually take some of that intelligence, of back to what Corrina was talking about, the cloud and all that information, and make it even more useful? I think that's a really exciting area. And aside from turning off things, there's actually even more, I would say, things that I would say painful sometimes, where you have to like find a parking spot, pay for meters, things that you don't really care about, but you have to do. I think those are some of the tasks that we could actually make easier and remove, I would call, friction. Why do I have to do that? Why do I have to like find coins to go pay for a meter? Can you actually pay things in a different way? The idea of actually paying for a toll still exists. Digging out a quarter or a dollar bill, and I'm sure you pay here, it's getting much smarter now. You don't actually have to go pay for things using money. But how do you actually do that in a smarter way? And it is merging. It's great to see companies like Square where they're taking mundane transactions and making it just more seamless. I think we're going to see more and more of that, and that's a really exciting theme to explore. And we're definitely exploring that, and hopefully you'll explore that.
Then, of course, there are screens. Screens are everywhere. They're all around us. It's pretty amazing here, right? Screens that present information for consumption, for interaction. That is what screens are for. But with so much stuff, how do you adapt and how do you manage all these screens? How do you keep on top of all of the stuff that you really care about with respect to your screens and manage it in your lives? When you think about it, you have screens in your living room, television sets, laptops, you have digital photo viewing devices. I can't remember what those are called. You have smartphones. And think of your office. I don't know about, other people in the audience. I have like 4 computers in my office now. How do I manage them all? And the reality is I do need to connect to different devices in my office at different times. Remotely in the office, how do I remember my passwords? There's so much with all of these screens that I care about, that I interact with, that I need to use every single day. There are security systems that may have different views on your home, as well as the living spaces within your home. How do you manage that? Not to mention the plethora of screens that are now appearing in our automobiles, from navigation systems to controlling your music to even just managing the operation of the vehicle itself. And then if you think about it, it's like another screen in the vehicle really are the mirrors that you have in there. How do you manage that as well? Do we need to? Might be something that's interesting to think about. I'm a little bit inspired by Xbox, the smart glass, not because I work at Microsoft, but I think they're doing some really interesting explorations in this space. You can now use a phone or a slate to control your television, your internet, and your gaming experiences and augment and enhance those experiences. For instance, you can be watching a movie on your television set, and your slate device or your phone can actually connect to that information, what it is that you're viewing, and maybe you want to look at information about an actor, Kim Kardashian. Sorry, I keep bringing that up. It's just in my head for some reason. Somebody brought it up earlier. But you can get instant access to that information, so it's really augmenting your experiences.
Yeah, I think back to, that's a really interesting how you actually use different screens to interact. At the same time, is it just using touch? We're starting to explore voice, but are there even more richer ways where we can communicate and interact with technology? And I'm excited about some of the areas of using body and using facial gestures where we're expressive. Humans don't just talk and write things. We actually make eye contact. We actually laugh sometimes. Sometimes we're sad. Sometimes we're happy. And sometimes we're excited. But how do we actually take some of those emotion and translate that? Because that's how we communicate. And we need to find ways to make our communication richer. And even using our entire body, using the language that we use to express ourselves, our posture, the way we move. I think that's another rich area to explore. And we're definitely exploring that, making that more real time. We're doing research where how do you actually recognize not just who you are, but what you're expressing and dynamically. I think that's a real exciting area to continue to explore.
So I think we're going to have to move very quickly now. So I'll just talk very quickly about augmenting our abilities. Everybody wants to be like the $6 million man, able to jump as high as the tallest building, run as fast as a $6 million man, but things affect that. Your sleep, the food that you eat, the amount of food that you eat. Are you exercising enough to get to your peak performance capabilities? The name just eluded me. What is the name of this thing again? I actually apologize.
Up.
Up is a tool that's out there. It's available. It's really interesting. It will actually manage or be fully aware of your sleep patterns, the food that you're eating, the number of steps that you're taking in a day. It can really help potentially optimize your performance capabilities.
And actually this area is actually more personal. An area that I was really impressed just visiting Amsterdam and visiting Eindhoven, all Holland, that transportation is such a key part of everyone's lives, where in a large part of the world, it isn't that great, where it's a lot of traffic, it's all about congestion, and you can see the impact, right? We're depleting our resources, we're creating polluting our world. Transportation is a key part, and how do we actually use technology where you can connect things, using the connectivity to be able to share bicycles, share the way we transport ourselves. That's a big area, and it's great to see startups like Lyft and Sidecar where how do you actually share rides and make that more of a social activity. I think that's just emerging, and it's great to see some of those things coming together.
So managing the amount of energy that we're consuming in our lives, like today, everybody's aware of the environment, our ecological situation. We need to do this more, and there are definite possibilities and interesting things that we can do at home, at work, everywhere that that we're actually interacting. The way that we manage that, track it right now is kind of silly. Things are connected. Nest is doing some interesting things with respect to this. I highly recommend checking it out, learning about the way that you're actually controlling the heating systems in your house and enhancing it. Smart glass, I believe, was created here in the Netherlands. It's pretty cool as well. Changing the opacity of glass to hold light out or bring light in depending on the heating characteristics or heating needs of a building. And then lastly,
an area that, just because we have so many cameras here, I think it's amazing how we actually catalog and we spend a lot of time talking about controlling or connecting things around us, but how about ourselves? How do we actually manage ourselves in terms of our daily lives? And I think it's great to see like journaling, logging. That's really what reality is. That's what we all care about. It's like ourselves. And we spend a lot of time thinking about, hey, what am I doing? How can I do it? How can I do it better? And it's great to see like Nick's work over here on his massive diary about everything he's done. But actually, how do you bring that to everyone? And you can see like Facebook's actually trying to do that, where it's not just about, hey, sharing your feeds and what you ate. It's actually your timeline to your life. Can we actually life blog? And life blog is an exciting area where it's not just about the things that you've done, it's actually the things that you interact with. And that's a really exciting area. And to see startups like Memento over here from Sweden, the idea of just capturing images every day. Like Facebook gets about, I think, 3,000 images every day uploaded. Yeah, every second, actually. About 250 million pictures uploaded every day. And that's crazy. But how do you actually take all that information and make sense of it? I think it's great to see companies like this trying to figure that out. And that's what it's really about, changing these connections and making a change to how we react. So, lastly, I think for us, we're here not to, first interview questions like, hey, what do you think about Windows 8? To us, it's not about making more products. It's about change. I think we work at Microsoft because we fundamentally believe our job is to help technology and help humanize it and create the change for good. And I think that's what's so exciting.
Make our world better, make our well-being
and we definitely want to see a world where we can use technology to empower us, to make us all better. So thank you, and look forward to everyone's talk, and look forward to connecting with you afterwards.
Yeah, so thanks for having us.